Hello everyone, welcome to Slipjoint Sawyer. Today we're going to be doing an EDC pocket dump, so it's my most carried gear the last sort of month. So this one we're going to do February of the stuff I've carried most over the month from January. So we'll kick it right off with some of the slips or sort of pouches I've used to carry my gear. And again, number one spot really for me, it's not going to be a surprise to any of you that are familiar with the channel. It is the Viperade VE15. It's one I've really become accustomed to carrying. It's got the great sort of small slot here and a larger slot here, been sort of carrying a Swiss Army knife or a modern knife and then a traditional slip joint in the right hand side. And the side of that then I've been carrying this Olight O-Pen Mini, and this Olight O-Pen Mini has been part of my EDC rotation since the day I bought it. Great little pen, perfect size really for me, fits nicely in the hand, really comfortable to write with. Perfect little pen to carry with you. And that obviously would sit in the side of the Viperade VE15. In there, sort of carry my debit cards, driver's license, a few band-aids, things like that in the back. So it's also doubled up as a wallet. So I'm really enjoying this, still have been carrying it for months now. On and off really, I do sometimes tend to change it out for maybe carrying a separate wallet and a leather slip. Sometimes I do use this Shire Supply Leather Company slip. You can see you carry cards in there, two popper design at the top. Or I would carry the knives in this, so I would have maybe a traditional and a Swiss Army knife, and I do sort of clip the Olight pen on the front, so I'd sort of clip that like that, and then have the two knives either side. So that's something else I use quite a lot. So we've got the 15 Shire Supply wallet and the sort of the dual leather slip. Some great stuff to start with. Next up for my torch carry, I've really sort of slimmed down what I carry for my torches. There's one I'm like a massive fan of, and that's the one I sort of go to, especially when I'm walking the dogs in the evening, especially now we're in the winter as well. It's very dark, and I've pretty much become accustomed to using this Warrior Nano. It's always in my pocket if I'm going out and it's going to get dark at some point. It's just a great torch. You get the sort of the EDC button on the side here, and as well you get the tactical button on the back too. Just a fantastic torch. One I recommend you guys checking out from Olight. They do a great job. That's the Warrior Nano. Next up, sort of been carrying a little Zippo lighter around some days when I'm, think I might need it. I'm not a smoker, but some days you do need a light, especially when if I'm making something with paracord or something like that, or I'm, binding something up and I don't want the ends to fray. I do use this to sort of singe the ends of the material. And of course, I went for the USA-made Zippo in the brass, because brass is class. It's the Zippo lighter. Next up, car keys if I'm going out driving anywhere. Pretty basic really, just the key fob, no key really, it's just an electronic fob, and on that I've been carrying the Midnight Manager in the sort of translucent blue. See, it's got a very sort of basic LED little flashlight on there, pretty much the same as the Rambler other than that. So we have those two tools on this side, and then on the other side you do have the scissors and then the nail file too. Then obviously it's the Midnight Manager, you get the light and the pen instead of the toothpick and the tweezers. So like handy pen there, if I get caught short, maybe I've just gone out of my car and I've not taken my pen with me, I would use this instead. So that's my car keys with the Midnight Manager on. House keys, I've become accustomed to sort of separating them from my car keys, but I don't always go out of my car. If I'm going walking the dog, I don't want to carry a bulky key fob around, so I just go around with this. This has the Olight IR2, I think is it? Yeah, IR2 Pro. As the two light settings, you've got a bright, a dim, and then you twist it more to be off. And that's in the sort of the orange triangle style. We have a Damn Designs little ghost. It was a gift from Eric Starr, so thank you very much, Eric. My house keys, my garage key on there, and then the knife I have on there is the Rosecraft Blades Awanata D2 steel. Fantastic little pocket carry this, especially to have on your keys. It really is a workhorse to have on your keys. You can see that I went for an orange theme with that, so I might just get orange of everything after I got that Damn Designs little ghost, and that looks cool altogether. Now, onto the knives. So the last sort of month has been really sort of dominated by the Buck 112. I really enjoy carrying it, and I think it's a fantastic knife, and I've been around my property a lot doing lots of bits of work. So over the month I have carried pretty much all three variations of it that I have. So the one that I've carried the most though is the original. I've been carrying this in a Shire Supply leather slip rather than the big sheath it comes in. I've been pocket carrying it, and I did put the brass thumb bar on there to aid sort of one hand opening. I know you can open it one-handed without, but I just wanted that extra bit of security when I'm opening it. I don't want to catch myself and end up stabbing myself in the hand trying to do the pinch and roll. I'm pretty clumsy. You can see we've got that nice patina on there. It's getting used. That thumb bar does make it really easy. It's a great carry for me, and I love the Buck 112. It's one of my favourite knives. Just takes a wicked sharp edge. It's a great workhorse. Comfortable in the hand, and yeah, there's not much more I can say about the 112. I love the 112. Next up, for the second most of my 112s carried would be the S30V version of the Slim Pro TRX. I did take the pocket clip off it, just think it's a bit more comfortable with it off, and I have been sort of carrying that in the side of the sheath. Just makes it a really great pocket carry. Great edge on that S30V blade, really sharp and gets job done. Like, it destroys through cardboard. Use it for a lot of work around the garden when I've been sort of getting ready for spring. Just a really strong workhorse of a knife. And then finally, for the final sort of 112 I've been carrying, it's one I bought to replace my father's one. So he had one of these. This is the Slim Select 112. I still have it. It's not lost. Just the blade was very worn down and sharpened. And I thought, instead of me sending it all the way back to Buck to get it warranted and then maybe losing the blade with a date stamp on, he bought it. I've sort of kept that one original and then just bought a secondary one. And of course, I've taken the pocket clip off this as well. And this is one I'm going to use as a real worker as well. Love the blade shape on the Slim Pro, and I love using the one that my father gave me as well. But obviously the blade is worn way down. It's maybe like a good half an inch up here all the way around, and it's very, very slim. But I want to take myself one of these again. They're not too expensive. If anyone wants to start out with a 112, I mean, this is pretty much where I'd go. It's very basic. You get the same steel as you get on the original, that 420 HC. You get the Buck stamp of approval on here as well. You can see the Tang stamp. Buck 112 USA. You get the thumb studs, the same quality. There's no wobble in that at all. And you get this really sturdy sort of FRN scales. But yeah, a very sturdy, great working knife as well. And then on to the sort of slip joints I've been carrying. So I've only really been carrying one sort of modern slip joint recently. It's one I picked up maybe about a month ago. I don't know if you guys watched the video on it. It's the Heine Haynes exclusive Spyderco Urban. You do get this really nice, aggressive, comfortable, sort of, I don't know, really durable G10 scales. It's really grippy in the hand. Of course, you get that Spidey hole to open. The best thing about it, I paid just about £100 for this, and you get it in S90V. You can see the H there for the Heine Haynes exclusive. Action on this thing is great. You do get that sort of slip it half stop, and then a nice sort of snap into the close. Really, I think this would be a fantastic knife. You have to carry just one sort of knife when you're going to be away for a week or something. Especially with this S90V, this would be brilliant for that. It's not too offensive. It's, you know, it does have a shiny blade. It's got a leaf-shaped blade, which could be seen as sort of a pokey blade in the UK, but it's really great and comfortable for me in hand. Really wonderful knife. And it's one I'll still be using. I'm not a massive fan of modern knives, but this one is one that sort of took my fancy, and I had to pick it up and sort of try it, and I'm really glad I did, and I went for this one with the S90V. It's a great steel to have on a knife. Next up, I've been carrying this GEC a lot as well. This was in last month too, but it's carried over to this month, but I've just been carrying it so much. This is the number 94. Yep, 94 in the garnet red jigged bone. That 1095 steel, taking on a wonderful patina. Razor sharp and a great little slip joint carry. One that I carry mainly is just, I mean, I use it a lot. You can see from the blade, but it is a very pretty knife. And I have no shame using my GECs at all. I think they're fantastic work knives. They can definitely take the punishment. They're built brilliantly. See that GEC Northfield stamp there as well. Next up, my Swiss Army knives I've been carrying the most this month. There's 3 of those, which I've really sort of carried on and off altogether. First up is the Pioneer. This is just a standard 2-layer with the standard, you've got the opening layer there. It has the main blade and the punch on the back, and this has mainly been used for a slim style carry. So when I've been carrying this, I didn't want anything too bulky. Just a 2-layer doesn't make it too bulky. You get a nice sort of, you know, it's very slender. Gives that bit of a lot more of a lightweight carry in your pocket, especially if I'm wearing shorts or something like that, and I don't want to be carrying too much in the day. So that is the Pioneer. Other than that, been carrying the Sportsman. It's a great sort of 2-layer 84mm. course, you get the larger pen there. You get the opening layer. Of course, this one being an older one has no half stop on the cap lifter. And along with that, you get the sort of nail file on the back. You get the standard back tools of the punch and the corkscrew. And of course, I've added the pin and the mini corkscrew screwdriver. And I've added some little black touches to that as well with the toothpick and the tweezers, getting them black from Victorinox. Another great one I've used to carry, especially in this as well, for a lightweight EDC. I've really become a big fan of the Sportsman. I think it's a great... Well, it basically is like a smaller span, but with the file in there instead. And it's a great sort of... I'm going to say it's like a gateway sack. I would pretty much go for this. They're on offer as well on Amazon, I think, so definitely jump on those if you can. Next up is a custom compact that was done for me by Dan over at Blade Bridge Customs. The scales I got from off of Etsy, but he did the brass liners for me on this and took out the corkscrew and replaced it with the Phillips screwdriver. And as well as that, he did a custom etching on the blade with his logo. See there? And he put a wonderful sharp edge on this. It is scary sharp. I think it's definitely one of my sharpest knives. Gets a lot of use. Really great. See the compact, you get this sort of multi-tool on the side and then the scissors. And then with it being a compact, you get the plus scale. So we have the pen on the back here, the toothpick and the tweezers. Probably my favourite Swiss Army knife at the moment. Now onto my final sort of couple of slip joint knives. As I said, I've been really dominated by the 112. It's one I've sort of carried every day. Even if I've been just round the house, I've just been chucking that in my pocket by itself and getting on with the day. But only really two more I've carried as well as much. So we have a Case Barlow in the yellow synthetic. This of course was the 2019 Vault pattern. You can see there the Case XX tang stamp. Only the one dot, so it's 9 years taken off that. So 2019. Beautiful fit and finish on this. Really happy with this when I picked it up. I did put my own edge on it just to get it that razor sharp. And it's a fantastic little work knife as well. I know it's only the stainless steel from Case, but it's good enough for me, for my day. I can definitely do my full day with that. Nice length as well. It's very comfortable in the hand in that classic Barlow pattern. I do think Case makes some of the best Barlows out there. And you also get that little pen blade on there too. And we can take a look at the tang stamp there as well. You've got USA 32009.5 with SS. And the half, of course, stands for it has a clip point blade when it has the option to have a spear blade. So that's something we learned from the Case Slippy and Thrifty show we did very recently. We've got Case Barlow. And then finally, one I picked up maybe in the last sort of week and a half, I've really been carrying every day. It's the Lusahachi Jack from Rosecraft Blades. I mean, if this thing had gotten to me last year, this would have been my knife of the year without a doubt. Obviously, I don't want to give knife of the year to things that I haven't carried, so I gave it to the Beaver Creek Barlow, but I really think this one edges it out for me. I have this wonderful sort of dragon scale bone, D2 steel, and this really nice clip point blade. See, this is the RCT 010, and this is available on Heine Haynes at the moment, so make sure you check them out. They have said they are selling fast, so if you want one, I would definitely get over there and pick it up as quickly as you can. So there we go, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this sort of EDC pocket dump for February 2024. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. Peace out.